I will have a disclaimer. I understand that I've had a little bit of computer trouble, and at times I may sound like Darth Vader. If I end up sounding like Darth Vader, if somebody will let me know in advance after you're amused by it, I can fix it. But if I don't know about it, it may get challenging to hear me. So that is the story. All right, so thank you all. Here we sit. It is the middle of August, and we once again are going to try to provide an update on where things stand, what's going on here at the J, what our plans are, and what I hope most of all is that we have opportunity to have some dialogue and answer your questions and hear your feedback and your thoughts as we continue to navigate our way through this very challenging and ever-changing time. So I want to share with you a couple of things as we begin. It has been 157 days since we have closed the JCC, and we have navigated through each and every aspect of that, from closure to reopening to hiccups along the way, with an eye towards providing excellent service to our community, making sure that we take the part of our promise seriously of operating in a safe and secure environment. And to do that, we've developed and adhered to very strict protocols in order to be able to maintain community health. As we begin, I will share with you that one of the things that we endeavored to do as we began this closure is take care of things that needed to be taken care of. We secured a loan from the Jewish Federation in order to complete our roof project. I'm very pleased to share with you that within the next week, that will be completed. We will have a brand new roof on all 68,000 square feet of the original roof of the building. They started over the fitness center and they have moved westward, and they are right now almost done with the last section of the roof, which is over the early childhood center. And that's a big relief to all of us as we move through the end of monsoon season, which has been relatively inactive this year. So I'm sure once we get the roof done, the rain will start to come. The other thing I want to share with you is that we have applied, we have submitted our application for the gym to be allowed to reopen. That process began last Monday when the portal was opened. The situation in Pima County at first remains to be challenging. We sent some clarifying information to the state yesterday, and we are hoping in the coming days to have a positive result and be given permission to reopen. What does reopening mean? It will mean that we will open under the same types of conditions that we had in June, where we will have pre-reservations to use the fitness center upstairs. We will have a limited number of people per hour that will be allowed in the fitness center. We will continue to require masks for the people that are using the fitness center. And we will have a break in between each usage session where we will be able to then re-sanitize all of our equipment and get ourselves set up for the next session. In the meantime, we have our aquatic center is open. We have pre-reservations for swimming. We are using 8 lanes and 8 individuals are able to come and swim. The Sarver Tennis Center is open, and both of those functions are by reservation only. We are adding Glide Fit back into the mix in the pool, and we have intention in the very, very near future to move some of our indoor cycling bikes under the pavilion on the pool deck, and we will begin to offer indoor cycling, albeit outdoors. Additionally, we're looking at adding some of our body pump classes. Again, we will do those outside under the pavilion. And at the moment, those would all take place before 8 o'clock in the morning when it's a cool 90 degrees. We certainly hope that the weather will cooperate more with us as we add more and more of those functions. We also will be adding some yoga and other classes out in the sculpture garden. So we're looking to use the out of doors as much as we can in a safe, socially distant way, recognizing that middle of the day kind of classes and even the early evenings right now are very, very hot and not necessarily conducive to that. Early childhood started the new school year. We have 158 children in our early childhood department, and we have kept those kids, as we did all summer long, in pods together. So we are maintaining physical distance while we are administering the program. And we started earlier this week with our J-Care Plus program, which is really all day at the J, where we have about 40 children who are doing their schoolwork here at the J, and we're providing supervision, and we are providing what I'll call recess time so that they can have a little bit of time to run around. We're continuing to evaluate what else might be able to be added to the mix, but we are taking into consideration with each thing that we do, CDC guidelines, PEMA health guidelines, ensuring that we are keeping people in small and physically distanced groups, and ensuring that the traffic flow doesn't involve a lot of cross traffic, because that is one of the things that we've been advised is not advisable. Our Taglit program remains successfully over at Or Hadash. So we're doing that to keep some physical distance between the program and the activity here, and again, to minimize whatever cross traffic would be caused by having another ecosystem moving through the facility. I don't want to take all of the time we have together with me talking at you, so I'm going to pause for a moment and see if you have any questions. And again, just to reinforce what Monica had said, I think we're on 2 screens right now, so I may not see you if you raise your hand. So please either put your question in the chat to me privately or to everyone, and I will do my best to read along, or use the participant button to raise your hand, and we will call on you as if we were in school together. So if there are any questions, thoughts, suggestions, I look forward to seeing them and answering them. We have a quiet group today.
Okay, may I start?
Sure.
Can you hear me?
I can, thank you.
Okay, great. So I just want to say thank you for doing everything possible to reopen as much as possible, especially gym and swimming. So I'm very happy, like that swimming is moving forward, and there's already was opportunity to sign up. So it started tonight and last night, so at midnight. And I think that's great. So kids are excited, parents are excited, and obviously it's hard situation for all, but it's kind of, it brings us back to normalcy. So it's very beneficial. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, the truth is, and I appreciate your saying that, we are trying as much as we can to replicate the opportunity to build community together, whether some of those activities remain online, like group exercise, or some of our arts and culture programs. And the things that we can do here together, albeit them physically distant, there is something very comforting about finding ways to bring community together here. And we look forward to more and more of those opportunities as we can open more things. So there's a question about the Wi-Fi and J-Care Plus. So there are a couple of things that we learned and I'll say that I will bore you with the things that we've learned. One of the things that we were not aware of was that some of the schools that we're servicing were going to require the students to come in over a secure connection. So we learned that on Monday. Our public Wi-Fi did not have a password to it. So we worked very quickly, and we are grateful for our partnership with Simply Bits, and we created a secure connection over the Wi-Fi so that the students that needed to get in over a secure connection could do that. Secondly, we are still wrestling with capacity issues. So we are working with Cox, who's our internet provider, to have a little bit more bandwidth. And we are actually working with Simply Bits to make sure that the rooms that we're using have the access point devices that can handle the access points that can handle the most devices. And right now, some of the rooms that we're using upstairs don't have the same capacity for the number of devices as the rooms downstairs. So we may have some movement over the next day so that we can make sure that the kids can get on. One of the things we have done is asked our staff if they don't need to be on Wi-Fi on their personal devices for work to please not use them, and wherever possible for our staff to be hard connected. So for those of you that have joined this conversation in the past, I normally am not sitting at my desk and I'm using the Wi-Fi for this, but today I'm sitting at my desk so I can remain on a hard connection. So as I understand the metrics in Pima County or the metrics actually in the state, it's the number of cases per 100,000 residents and whether they're more or less than 100. So when the portal went up, Pima County exceeded the number of cases, so they could not allow gyms to just open. And that we all submit our plans for what we would do. And high level, without everything, is that we're going to have less than 10% occupancy. We're going to have sanitization plans. We're going to have identified plans for masks, all things that we have in place. And I say with trepidation, I'm optimistic that what we had done already will meet the standard, and it's just a matter of the bureaucracy end of it coming through. It will not, and I want to say this and underscore it, involve us doing less than we were doing before. So in other words, we were allowing 35 people an hour into the fitness center. We won't be able to allow 40 or 45. We may be told that we actually have to cut back 5 people an hour based on the square footage in the fitness center, and depending how you count the square footage. We will not be told that we don't have to do health screenings on the way in, or that we can alleviate our mask policy. So it's right now in their hands. I'm really confident in our policy and the way in which we're moving traffic around the building, but it's all keyed off of the number of cases per 100,000 residents in the community. Rob, did that answer your question?
Todd, it looks like we.
Yes, Todd, you did answer my question very accurately. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It looks like Simikka may have a question.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't have that.
Is the gym open?
Not yet.
Oh, it's not open. Okay.
The gym remains closed until we get permission from the state. And as I said, just to make that we did submit some clarifying information to them yesterday, and I hope that the review will come back favorably very soon.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. But we are trying to open more gym activities, if you will. That's why we're looking at bringing some of the indoor cycling bikes outside and potentially offering a body pump outside.
Okay.
So there's Sharon, I see you. So let me answer one question first. There's some question about bringing free weights outside. At the moment, that's not something that we're looking to do. If for whatever reason we are not given opportunity to open the gym completely, we may consider it. Candidly, it's labor intensive to move all that equipment outside. And I would also be concerned not about COVID public health, but about, personally, I feel like it is a bit of a risk to be encouraging people, thank you, to be encouraging people to exercise in that way outside when it's 112 degrees. We also believe that as time goes on, we're going to see an inversion. Right now, the pool is an excellent place to exercise, and the tennis courts are a little warm. And I think as we move into the fall, some people may feel the pool is too cold and the tennis courts are just right. So we'll have our own Three Bears experience. Sharon.
Yeah, I'm wondering whether if there are some elder rehab caregivers that are willing to risk taking their persons out, and I have a few that were very interested. And students, there are students on campus, and I guess they're all being tested, and I'm sure there's going to be some risk, but if people are willing to take that risk, can by appointment a couple of one-to-one people be admitted in once the gym is open?
So I guess the question would be, if we're just talking about the gym and there are individuals that want to come, they would count towards the overall count, and we would need to evaluate the risk that they would be assuming. So I guess the answer is kind of maybe, Sharon, and I hate to give that as an answer, but we'd have to probably talk offline. I think the gym will be considered safe from a CDC guideline standpoint. I think people who are high risk, moving into an environment where people will be physically distanced for sure, people will be in masks for sure, there will be health screenings to make sure that people aren't coming in with a fever and have not experienced symptoms. So in that sense, it would be considered a safe environment. I wouldn't say to someone who feels like they're high risk that if they're feeling apprehensive, I wouldn't talk them into doing something, but I would tell them that we have made the environment as safe as we are able to make it.
Right.
Other questions?
I did send notification of this Zoom meeting to all the people who were most recently registered in elder rehab. So if
Great.
anybody is seriously interested, I'm assuming they're listening.
Good, I hope so. And thank you for doing that. Raymonde.
Yes, I have a question in regard to the sculpture garden and in regard to the lady who just finished talking about elderly people. Is any possibility that with reservation like we have in the pool, that we could have, as now the weather is getting a little cooler, or is hopefully it's going to get cooler, early morning or late afternoon, have singer with their caregiver to walk in the garden. The paths are pretty good with even people with who are not ambulatory, with wheelchair, we could walk and kind of give a chance to people who's been locked up for so long to go out, see nature, see the sculpture. But like I said, you know, the same processes that you guys using with the pool, with reservation, and have a chance to see nature, to get some fresh air.
You know,
I don't know. What do you think?
Raymonde, I think that's actually a really wonderful idea, and we'll bring Jennifer in. I'm sure you'll talk about it at the committee. But I think that there is a path to allow with reservations people to come through and both get a little bit of exercise by walking around the garden, but also a little bit of time just to be with the art for both their mind and their soul.
Exactly. Open discussion, you know, about this open discussion about the sculpture, this kind of thing. That's what I'm thinking.
And it would be by reservation, and we would keep people, again, safe and in masks and screened. So I think that that's
Exactly.
absolutely a possibility. We would just have to figure out the path in a way that doesn't cause the cross traffic and that there's a good access point for people to get in and then get out there. But I think
Exactly.
that's
Exactly.
solvable.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be nice. It'd be really nice.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Other thoughts, questions?
Todd, I got another question.
Sure.
In regard to the studio, is the studio still closed at this time? Yeah, no possibility of having a class with limited number of people? You know, as a sculptor teaching, I don't have many people in my class, so I'm looking at maybe see if there's some possibility there also.
At the moment, I would say that's still going to be open at a future date.
Okay.
I don't see a path right this minute to get that, to put that into the mix. We'll have to evaluate where everything else is.
Okay. I know that the summer is basically utilized for the children, but
Right.
at the fall things might change. But you know, it's no urgency. It's just a question that I wanted to ask. That's all.
Yeah, no, it's a fair question. Any other questions or thoughts? You know, so as I said, we're continuing to try to see whatever else we can do, because we certainly are committed to serving community. We certainly know that the outdoors will become much more of a resource to us as time goes on. We are very hopeful that we will have some positive news in terms of the fitness center. We really do miss seeing everyone and the traffic. I also want to share with you, because I don't know that it's really broadly known, but it's something we're very proud of, is that during the shutdown, we developed a relationship with Pima Council on Aging and Catholic Community Services. And we are providing through our kitchen 650 meals a week to 3 different apartment buildings that are managed by Catholic Community Services. Our desire to be a resource to the community is not bound only by our members, although that's our primary focus to serve as we try to reopen, but we also wanted to be and continue to want to be a resource to the overall community. We also have a Red Cross blood drive coming up. This will be our 4th one, Monica. So look for information about that. Certainly that is a need in the community as we are all collectively navigating our way through this. So we're very happy to provide that resource. If there are no other questions, we will do this again in a month, and hopefully we'll have more great news to share and more feedback that we can think about together. And I really hope that we all stay healthy, that we all do what we can do as a community to keep each other safe and to keep each other healthy, and that there will be a time when we can gather again in a way that will feel nostalgic, but certainly familiar.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.